What's going on, guys? Oops, I did not put on my lights. What's up with that? What is up with that? Look at that. Magic. Because, Freaky, I can see them in my restream. Stop giving me notifications. Blessed be. Oh my goodness. Good morning, everybody. You see a new background. Oh, I just didn't change it. Why is, because I got it paused? My chat's working. Hey, they got it fixed. My restream bot. Hey, Nubs. Hold on one second, guys. Getting my pop-out chats ready. Maybe. I'm always extra lost. There we go. There we go. Look at that. Hello, Heaven Sent. How are you? Misty Cat, Nubs, Andy, Freaky Geek, Maria, Heaven Sent. Who else we got up here? Jane, hello. How is everybody? I missed you guys. Thank you, Nubs. Hey, Heather. How are you? Look at Restream fixed all the chats for me. So excited. I did write them and let them know what was going on. Excuse the wet hair. Oh, Eddie won't be here today. Unfortunately, he is working. Oh, I've missed you guys so much. I really have. Thank you for the shares and the likes and the subs. Always watching. That's right. Always watching. They watch me everywhere. I'm doing good. I thought I was going to be late. I was downstairs, having my cigarettes before the stream, and people kept coming out and chatting with me. You're the best around. You guys are the best around. What's the musings today? We got a couple. We got a couple good musings, Monday musings today. But before that, I need inventors. Will you guys invent something for me? Can you do that? Where's Nicole? Where's Nicole? Is she all right, Andy? Andy, where is Nicole? Heather needs her D-Live sister. Thank you, Heather, for the lemons. Seems like you've been offline for 3 years, not 2 weeks. I know, right? It does feel that way. I need inventors, Maria. I need somebody to invent me something. Did I say that right? I need somebody to invent something for me. There we go. Non-accents? How was your investigation, Nubs? How was it? I have to watch your YouTubings, your videos. What's what? What's what? Oh, what do I want you guys to invent? Probably, right? See, I ask a question or tell you guys something and I forget 2 seconds later. Not enough coffee. Hold on, I gotta get my coffee. There we go. All right, Andy. Hurry back. So, I need somebody to come up with this. Well, there is an invention out there, but it's not the way that I want it. I want full spectrum glasses, but I'm not talking about full spectrum like the camera full spectrum. I need glasses that have Wi-Fi in them, or I can hook, well, no, I want Wi-Fi because I want to walk around with it. Or I could hook it into my phone as a camera or whatnot, something like that. But I want every spectrum of the light spectrum, okay, in the glasses. And I want a wheelie, getting very technical here, huh? I want a wheelie like I have on my headphones, right? That I can go through the spectrums by, well, that doesn't help, but you can't see, by scrolling through them. That's what I want. But they got to be Wi-Fi so I can, yeah, something better than rose-colored specs. There you go. But I want to be able to go through the whole spectrum, if that makes sense. Because I want to be wearing them so you guys can see when I do investigations. You know what I mean? Yes. So if there's anything like that out there, let me know. And if you can invent it, really let me know. Yeah, both, or either or, I should say, a wheelie or a control dial where I just can go through and scroll through every spectrum. So if I want to get from full spectrum to infrared, I can go in a zip. I can just scroll it down through. Does that make sense? Or am I living the impossible dream? Probably the latter. So yes, Mr. Eddie is not here today. No chaos today. As far as I know, he might come and surprise us. I don't know. But he told me to tell all you guys that he said hi and then he misses you. Even though he saw most of you yesterday. No, I'm just messing. And make everybody, no, only if I was reading up on it, Freaky Geek, and it does screw you up if you have 2 different lenses on at the same time, but it shouldn't screw your eyes up if both lenses are the same at the same time. If that makes sense. I don't know either. I mean, I know they have different colored spectrum glasses, but I don't know. I just want to be able to go through all the color spectrums. Even the ones that are hidden. Hence full spectrum and infrared. If you're not using a driver, it won't screw too much. I don't want to know. Was that another typo? I know, that's what I'm saying. That does seem bad, Freaky Geek. The hell's wrong with you? We all know. But yeah, so that's what I was researching a little bit on. I've been quite, nope, not that time. I was researching a little bit on it, but I would love to figure that out. I don't know how it would work. All I can think of is the things when you go to get your eyes checked, the different floppy things, can you see? Is this better? Is that better? How about this? Can you see now? But that would be like a freaking huge thing to put on your head. Sure, make excuses, Freaky. Make excuses. But yeah, that's what I want. I want somebody to invent that for me. So if you ever come across anybody that's invented that or even tried to invent it or you know, let them know. Let them know. Yeah, one or two, which is clearer. Yes, that thing. Now, if you can fix a camera to those specs for all as well, as you can see, that would be neat. Yeah, I think it would be. I think it would be. And not only that, for like if we were talking like what if Wednesdays, if we were looking for UFOs, we could go through the whole spectrum too to see what we can see. Thank you, Nicole, for celebrating your 3-month Substreak. Wow. That's not even coming out of my mouth right. Hello, Nicole. Yeah, buddy. I was wondering where you were. Well, her not talking. Is it just informing me? Oh, okay. Oh, all right, Nicole. Okay. Ooh, I was worried there. Oh, by the way, because Eddie talked about it a little bit yesterday on his stream. Maybe he didn't talk about it yesterday. I don't know. Whatever day he talked about it. Wearing my necklace that Nicole and Andy got me. I absolutely love it. I haven't taken it off since I got it. I wish you guys could see it better. But it's the tree of life with a little owl in it. Like you can really see that. I don't know why. And it's lapis lazuli. I love it. I absolutely freaking love it. Absolutely. I can't thank you guys enough. You guys treat me so well. Yes, it's very shiny. I like that as well. It's shiny. Thank you for the ice cream, Nicole. You guys spoil me. You really do. All of you guys do. It is. I absolutely love it. I saw it. I didn't put it on that night that I got it, but the next day I was like, I'm going off. I'm putting it on. It's not coming off. Yeah, I will. Freaky Geek. I can do that. Definitely. Excuse me. Excuse me again. Holy crap, guys. It's definitely Monday. Okay, Freaky Geek, hurry back. This is strange. Nicole comes into the room and Andy is still on BRB. Andy goes on BRB and Nicole comes into the room. I'm just messing. I hear you, Nicole. Nicole said, had some rough days behind me, still a few to come, but the worst is over now. He's getting his coffee? Okay. Okay. Yes, definitely hugs and good vibes to Nicole. She's been going through a lot lately, and we love her, and we think about her every day. And, yeah, we love you, Nicole. We love you. We're right there with you, going through it with you. Andy more so because he's on the phone with you all the time, but you know what I mean. We love you. Flowers, SpongeBob. With hearts, not flowers. Jesus. It really is a Monday. Holy hell. It really is, guys. But I'm happy I messaged Restream about the whole chat. They were very cool. I think it was working actually last Monday. They got right on it. Explained to them what was going on, that the chat bot, you guys couldn't talk back and forth to each other, and YouTube and DLive and everywhere else. And yeah, so they got right on it. She talked to the tech guys and came back with a message, said, okay, they're working on it right now, and boom, got it fixed. got it fixed. So I love my Restream, people. Telling you. That's my definitely go-to. Don't get me wrong. I like StreamYards and that. I really do. But I use Restream anyway. So, welcome back, Andy. Welcome back. I don't think I have my sounds on. No, I don't even have my... Now I got to figure out my Stream Deck. It's always one thing or another, right, guys? I swear to God, that's how it is. So, yeah, that's what I want. We've talked about the invention. So, let's go ahead and start the show and see what we got to talk about. So, of course, everyone, welcome to the Shadows of the Moon show with a little bit of chaos, even though a little bit of chaos isn't here today.
Oh, what the fuck?
I know. Today, of course, is Monday Musings. We're starting off really well, aren't we? So you know what that means. It's time for a discussion about spooky things and scary stories and questioning the paranormal. We're talking, of course, all things paranormal, from haunted places, creepy stories, to your guys' stories. You're welcome, Andy. You're welcome. If you're going through the Facebook chat, please click the link up in the description so that we can recognize it's you and it just don't say Facebook user. And then we're like, who are you? I know. I cannot have a chaos-free day. When he's not here, shit goes wrong. He's still here in spirit. Is that what you're saying, Andy? Because that's what I'm going to tell him, you said. That's what I'm going to tell him. So today we already talked about the specter glasses and how I want you guys to go invent me something. So we're going to talk about, and let me know if we've talked about these before. I think I had these set up before, and we just didn't get to them. That's it. Moon Cookie Sister. Oh, so you made me say it, Nicole. I kept thinking D-Live Sister. That's right. A day without chaos is like a day without the sun. That is so true. Yeah. So on the first half of the show, we're looking at daydreaming about ghosts. Okay. Then we're going to talk about when the day turns dark. See that? I can't remember if we talked about that. But just for a split second when it happens. The story of two women who didn't get along after death. And that's another story that I'm not sure if we talked about, because if we did, we're screwed. I don't know what the hell we're going to talk about it. We'll find something, I'm sure. But then we're talking about A Ghoulish Apparition, the bizarre legend of Arizona's Red Ghost, and the Barnstable house, the House of 11 Ghosts. Did I say son? I meant son of a. Oh, yeah. Now you're messing with a son of a bitch. Now you're messing with a son of a bitch. Don't ask. I don't know. I'm rambling. As always, if you are listening to the podcast portion of this, thank you so much for listening. And thank you, every one of you, each and every one of you, for your support that you have given us. You guys rock. You really do. And if you're over on the podcast, I invite you to come over and listen to our live shows and jump in on the conversation. Keep these guys over here in check. I know that's a hard task, but... And don't forget, as I roll the credits, get over to D-Live and hype up the chat for that chest opening. Get your lemons on. No, I never ramble. Never. Why would you say such a thing, Heather? I've missed you guys so much. I really have. Again, I'm sorry for taking off last week, but I'm trying to get everything done before, in case we have a season. Who knows if we're going to, but I wanted to get everything done just in case I started working 40 hours a week again. And then, so basically when I'm working, this is how it goes. I get up at around 8 every morning, 7 or 8. Stream at 10, right? Get up at noon. Take a nap for a couple, but it takes you a minute to get to sleep, right? Go into work at 2:30, come home at 10:30, and then basically go to bed. So I have no time to do like my little things. And usually my days off, I'm like sitting there comatose because I can't move because my body hurts from running up and down stairs all night. So that's why I wanted to get everything done. Am I lagging or is it just me? Did I say take a nap for a couple of weeks? Did I say that? I meant for a couple hours. Who knows? I could have said that. It's freaking hot in here. I saw Robin today. Yeah, I saw a robin today. I'm excited about it, seeing it. We had a lot of eagles in the trees yesterday. Well, there was like 4. That's a lot. All the bunnies running around. Batman? I've seen a couple bats, but no Batman. We do have bats up here. Geese are flying overhead. I don't know if they're Canadian. They seem to be going west. Why, I don't know. Haha, Andy. Maybe Heather, but when Missy's bad, she's even better, so said Eddie. Whatever, Eddie never said that. All right, so let's get going, shall we? Talking about daydreaming, you guys never told me. Did we talk about that stuff or not? Daydreaming is a natural thing that we as humans do. Could entering a state of daydreaming make us think of something paranormal is happening? Alternatively, of course, you guys know the links are down in the... Okay, Nicole, no problem, hon. All the links are down in the description, so if you would like to read the articles and everything. Alternatively, does accessing the state of daydreaming allow us to see things that are how truly they are? I daydream all the time, too. So do you ever just tune... Obviously, you just answered this question, but Nicole did anyway. Welcome back, Freaky. What do you mean you... I shocked myself I got to talking. Daydreaming is more dangerous than night dreaming. More so if you drive. Yeah, she brings this up here. She's like, do you ever just tune out and go off on your own little world? The scary thing is when you do it while you're driving. Often when you're driving down long stretches of road, your mind tends to wander. You start thinking about things and soon start to visualize things in the type of daydream. It can last seconds or several minutes. In fact, there are medical conditions where daydreams can last for hours. Can you imagine being stuck in a daydream for... Hey, Mo! Eddie's is working. Eddie's working. Yeah, Eddie is invisible. If his chair starts moving, I'm blaming you. I couldn't imagine being stuck. I mean, I'd like that feeling, but I can't imagine being stuck for hours in a daydream. At some point, of course, your attention returns and you tend to jolt a little bit and think to yourself, how long was I daydreaming? What if something happened? Your body has almost gone into autopilot while you're experiencing this daydream. Have you ever been driving and turned out a little bit and then either jumped, swerved, or even stopped because you thought you saw something run across the road? Or a figure standing on the side of the road? You blink and they're gone, or you look back and there was nothing there. Many people think this is a kind of an experience, could be a ghastly figure on the side of the road. I know it's happened to me on many occasions. How many of these things or these kinds of stories have you heard? They're what local legends are made of. The question, of course, becomes, did you see a figure on the side of the road because there really is a spirit or ghost or something there? Or was it a side effect of your daydreaming? Andy, I've been stuck in daydreams all my whole life. Well, yeah, that's when I think of reading a book, Freaky, because Freaky said some daydreams are just time wasting as reading a book. When I think of reading a book, I think I'm going to another place. So, I'm doing good, Mo. Thanks for asking. How are you? Freaky said it's your mind reminding you to be alert. Is that what you think it is? But why would it come up ghastly or scary? Like, why would it be scary? I don't know. When absent or when absorbed in intellectual attention, we become so oh my god, attentive to our outer things as be absent-minded, abstracted, or just see. It's been too long since I did a live. I can't even freaking talk. Or distracts. Well, that's true, Andy. He said daydreams ain't scary. It's the real life that frightens me. That is very true. If you're driving and think you see a body, why not? True. True. I guess you can say when the mind wanders, that's when you're daydreaming. Yeah, basically. Or do you associate it with two different things? Like I associate mind wandering with daydreaming. Like when you're in that zone, you know what I mean? Even when you're doing um like Eddie said he's in the zone when he's stocking shelves. He just goes into this, or when you're taking a walk. You just get into that zone where you're on autopilot. I believe that's all associated with daydreaming. Do you guys think that, or am I just like totally off and talking out my ass? So, what is a daydream? A daydream is like a form of escape and is often related to performing boring or mundane tasks. The brain gets a little bored and either takes a break or plays like a movie in your head to entertain you. Often, a daydream is often related to us and more specifically, our goals in life. It can even be a fantasy or a time of self reflection. Kinda, Andy. It's the same, basically, same feeling as meditation. Two different things. You could be thinking analogical over a puzzle when the mind wanders, but daydreaming, you're thinking about how you want your life to be. All right, I can understand that. Nicole says, I daydream to escape or put your mind at zero. Yes, did that to a factory work. When you did that in factory work, she did. Analytical? Did I say that wrong? Oh, analogical. Okay. I don't know. I don't know if it's two different things. I think it's in the same, at least umbrella term, because I feel like I don't know. See, I started a daydream there, trying to think about what it is to daydream. Um, but also, like, if I'm thinking about changing Hey, Sandra Pink Videos, how are you? Said I just popped in to say hi and like and share. You have a wonderful day as well, and thank you so much for showing some love. I appreciate it. Appreciate it a lot. Hope all is well. But yeah, so I mean, what do you got? Like if I want to sit there and I'm thinking about how I change my furniture around, I think it's the same, gets to that same level of daydreaming. Even if I'm zoning out to think about how I want, maybe I zone out of stupid things. I don't know. But I don't know. So it says a set of brain regions known as the default network increases in activity when focused on external world, when focus on the external world is relaxed. During such moments, participants change their focus of external tension and engage in spontaneous cognitive processes, including remembering the past and imagining the future. However, the function contribute, uh, Jesus, contributes, okay, of the default network to shift in external attention versus internal meditation. I don't know if that's supposed to be meditation. Have been difficult to disentangle because the two process are correlated under typical circumstances. So to address this issue, the present study manipulated factors that to promote spontaneous cognition separately from those that change the scope external. Yeah. So given around 96% of the population is said to daydream at least once a day, and it makes sense to connect to this to certain paranormal experiences as well. Of course, not all paranormal experiences are hallucinations or daydreams, but they come out of a daydream could indeed be mistaken for something paranormal. All right, hurry back, Freaky Geek. Hey, Elizabeth, how are you, hon? So I think, I don't know. Someone will be doing some routine chore like polishing the furniture. They'll be in a non-rubbery or daydream state, and they will see something out the corner of their eye. He says they'll turn and their mind will fill the blank. They'll see a Civil War soldier or a gray lady, and then it'll promptly vanish. It's a trick of the eye. Your eyelid will twitch or an insect will fly by, and this will trigger a momentary welling of mental image. It's like a camera double exposure for just a brief moment. Joe Nichols, senior researcher at the Committee for Skeptical Inquiry. I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if I believe that just because of the facts. And what do you guys think? Because just as a fact, to me, when I see something, thank you for the ice cream, Nicole. When I see something on the corner of my eye, there's something blocking light. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know if I used to believe in the whole seeing something out of the corner of your eye being just something will trigger it. But I don't know. I don't know anymore. What do you guys think? Nicole usually sees World War I and II soldiers for some reason. Yeah, I noticed that, Andy. I've noticed that about what Nicole has seen and everything. I mean, obviously you talked to her more about this, but yeah, I'm wondering if she that was in one of her timelines, or they feel comfortable coming to her. I wonder if it has the history to do that with the history of Belgium or anything. You know what I mean? What do you think, Nicole? Welcome back, Freaky Geek. What do you guys think about seeing things out of the corner of your eye? Do you think it's just your eyes fucking up? Or do you think it's actually something there. I believe it's something there. I really do, because something is blocking out light. Just my thought on it. Or I'm starting to lean towards that way. I really haven't. No, mostly UK soldiers or US soldiers. Weird. Huh. I don't know. I don't know. That is weird. If my eyes did that, they'd be getting more action than me. No, I don't think so. I think it's something there. Yeah, like Andy says, I think it's the mix of the two. Yeah, I don't know. It's something that I used to be not on the fence about. I used to be, well, it's something, triggering that. But the more and more I think about seeing things out of the corner of your eye, it's definitely something whiffed by. Misty Cat says, usually something's there and something I don't want to see, right? Yeah, I wonder if it's our own, like, mechanism for not, like, I know I read an article the other day, and I think that's what got me thinking about the corner of the eye stuff, is because of the fact of how the light works. Sorry, being AFK, I missed all but the eyes upping up. No worries, Freaky Geek, no worries. Yeah, that's true, Andy. He said, well, those talking faces on Nicole's wall that night certainly were out of the corner of my eye. Excuse me. No, that was straight on watching that. So they're asking, is daydream a form of hypnagogia? That's probably not how you say it, but I don't know how to say that word. I'll put it in chat so you guys can see it and look it up. People often report a lot of paranormal experiences as they're falling asleep at night. They're in the in-between state. Oh, that's what it is. State called hypnagogia. I don't know. You're not asleep, but you're also not awake. Yes, it's that where you get frightened and you can't fall asleep for 2 hours after that. You are in between. It's a state that's compared to REM sleep, where a person is in their deepest sleep. Your mind is going through a lot of thoughts, emotions, ideas, and accessing memories. During REM sleep, you are in a state, such a deep sleep, that you're not aware of this, so you don't remember it in the morning. When you are in a hypnagogic state, you you're in between full sleep and being awake. So you're aware of these thought processes. It's in this state that your brain itself is more open to connecting the dots, so to speak. Wow, really? As your brain is going through random memories, thoughts, and ideas, it is connecting them at the same time. A lot of creative people deliberately put themselves into the state to help them come up with ideas and inspiration. Maybe I should try that more. Thomas, figure out how to do my glasses, my spectrum glasses. Thomas Edison is one such person who would use the state to help problem solve. He said to hold a piece of metal in his hand while he entered the state with a specific thought in mind that he needed clarity on, so that when he fell asleep, he would drop the piece of metal, which would make a loud noise on the floor to wake him up, so he can then work on the ideas and connections he made in this hypnagogic state. That's very interesting. I might have to try that. How do you pronounce that? Hypnagogia. You find the most interesting words, Shadow. I know, right? Every freaking story's got at least one word in it. And he says, not asleep and not awake. That's when I usually stumble off the curve and otherwise jolt myself. Yes, I hate hypnagogia. Hypnagogia. Yeah, see, that's not even coming out of my mouth right. I've had time where either a leg or the whole body jolts me awake. Not sure why that happens. It's because we're floating up. No, not really. No, it's your nerves. It has something to do with. I've read up on that because I was wondering the same way. I was like, we're not really floating up, right? You're slamming back into your body. That's what it is. No, that is true, Andy. Andy says Missy's found a few interesting words to describe me in the past. LOL. Nope, I can't eat that right for it to come out proper. I know. It's like UK names, man. It's got too many syllables in there. Not enough vowels. But yeah, it has something to do with your nerves. Your nerves are just shutting off. So this state, this H state, that's what we'll call it, H state, is actually thought to be a close relative of sleep paralysis. In this state, people can receive images they find confronting or scary. They can feel like they're being touched. They can sense a presence in the room. Because they are somewhat awake at the time, it feels very real, and many people believe they have experienced something paranormal. Science suggests that this is a neurological disorder and it is simply the brain playing tricks on us. It's what we call the H hallucination. Certain medications, stress, tiredness, and alcohol can all be a factor that can cause a person to have an H hallucination. It is the number one conclusion that a lot of people will jump to when a person claims to have some sort of alien visitation in bed. Now, the thing of, I know, dang silly Bubbles always tripping up Missy's tongue as she speaks. I know, believe me. That's why I love you guys. You guys stick around when I'm babbling like an idiot. Now, talking about this, I get it. I totally get sleep paralysis. I've studied a lot about that and stuff like that. But, hey, Melanie, how are you, hon? I've missed you as well. Chaos isn't here today, but I'm sure he's missed you as well. How you doing, hon? But my take on that is why
give the boy points.
That's right. Gotta give that boy points. Why is it that our body makes us do that? Like, our body does things for different reasons, right? But it's always in protection to us. So why would that truly happen? Like, why is our body doing that? What is it protecting us from? Does that make sense? And do you think this form of state with the daydreaming, because it says, so if we apply this concept to daydreaming, is a daydream essentially a state of the H word, not hell either? What about instances where people are driving late at night and not off? Again, they're not fully asleep, but they're on their way there. It's during these times that people report encounters with UFOs or again seeing a ghastly figure run in front of them on the side of the road. It's entirely possible that a person has experienced a form of hallucination in the state. That I agree with. No problem. Protecting us from ourselves? How so, though? If our bodies are here to protect us, I just don't see it protecting it from ourselves. What, to like jumping off the bed? But are you truly just seeing things? Freaky Geek says, when I see things that are not there and I can't explain, I tell others, I'm just seeing things. But are you truly just seeing things? Freaky's like, shut up, man. That's okay, Freaky. I know how to read Taiwanese. You guys understand my language, so hey. So does daydreaming allow us to see things that as there truly are? A daydream is a story or a movie that our brain creates while we're in REM sleep. That's just sleep, a dream. Did I say a daydream? A dream is a story or movie that our brain creates while we're in REM sleep. There is still a lot about dreaming that science does not know yet or understand. Some speculate our subconscious plays a major role in creating these stories. So much that, in fact, there is what's called a dream dictionary. Psychology suggests that it comes from our subconscious and that our current state of mind or emotions can play the role of this type of dream, of the type of dreams that we have. There are common dreams that people share, from falling from a building to turning up at school or work completely naked. We all have certain type of dream at some point in time. A lot of people, however, do tend to argue over what the meaning of these dreams is. In the early 1900s, of course, Sigmund Freud, where'd it go? Sigmund Freud explored this quite extensively. He believes a dream was everything sexual with him. No, he believes a dream was a result of our deepest anxieties and desires. He believed that they often had a connection to repressed childhood memories or obsessions. The H word, for example, is not a full dream. However, you're in a meditative state that allows you to access your consciousness. This is why Edison would use this state to reflect and come up with ideas or solutions. Let me get on chat here. What gets me the most is when I and another hear voices with no bodies. Yeah, see, you have a gift, Freaky. And he says, as we drift off to sleep, we spend a fair amount of time in the borderline state between waking and sleeping. Is during this stage when we're in neither one state nor the other, when we need to ease our breathing, slow our heart rate. Thus, the subconscious begins to take over for some hours and pretty much shuts our body movements down to a minimum. Right. But our brain is still going. We just don't know it. Freaky Geek says that's when the brain is sorting through all the information that we've collected during our working time or during our waking time. I don't know. So do you guys think that's dream, or are we going to another place? Could be a form of meditation when trying to go into sleep. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So it says it is unknown exactly what our consciousness is capable of, even if it even lives on after we die. If our consciousness is not confined to our physical bodies, where does it go when we are sleeping? Is it dream, our subconscious, or perhaps it's a peek into something else? We live in a three-dimensional world. The fourth dimension is the time that we cannot see. Some consider it to be a bridge between our physical world and the spiritual world. I'm one of them people. The fifth dimension is thought to be the first major spiritual dimension where a person reaches a higher form of consciousness. It is in the fourth dimension that people claim they can astral travel and leave their body via their consciousness to visit another place or person. The fourth dimension is also made up of time. When we dream, it can feel like the dream has gone on for hours. Yet in reality, a dream only lasts 20 to 30 minutes on average. Time doesn't seem to apply to our dreams, the ones that we remember anyway. So is it an indication that perhaps during our dreams we are entering a different state of consciousness? Or is that what would make it possible for us to receive a visit from a loved one in the form of a dream? Is that why we only remember certain dreams? Andy says, but meditation is a waking sleep, I think. Staying aware of our environment. No, not always, Andy. When I go into a meditative state, I can be aware of what's going on around me. Like if something, like if we're having an earthquake, of course I'm going to be aware of that. Or if, Eddie's banging around on something, I'm going to be aware of that. But it's got to be something not intent. What's the word I'm looking for? It's got to be higher level. It's, you know what I mean? I'm not aware if sometimes Eddie could walk by me and I'm not aware he walked by me. It's kind of like, you ever been sitting there? Eddie's done this, where he's been sitting there and I'll go into the living room and he doesn't even realize that I've gone into the living room. That's like being in a meditative state. Intense. Yes. Thank you, Freaky Geek. It's got to be more intense. Little things aren't going to, I'm not going to notice. Does that make sense, Andy? At least in my experience. I can't say for anybody else's, but in my experience, that's what it's like. You had one tea too many, maybe. Hey, Giggle Pickles, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Do you look at it differently? Don't just say yup. I hate when you do that. Because then I think you're mad at me. But I mean, like I said, that's just my take on it. I don't know. It could be different for other people. I have no clue. Nope. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that you've been sick. I'm glad you're feeling better, though. Definitely. I hope it wasn't anything too serious, Giggle Pickles. So when it comes to daydreaming, I know sometimes that I drift off into another world during a paranormal investigation. And here's a question for all my investigators out there that's listening. Sometimes I dream about how the place would have looked 100 years ago when it was thriving with people, which I can understand that. Other times I daydream about things that I think might have happened during the night. I remember one specific investigation. I kept getting mental images of what was like a mini daydreams or a mini movie from the past, of what a prison with people walking around would look like. It was like a scene out of a movie. I'm not a person who is sensitive or psychic when it comes to paranormal, but sometimes I even zone out and think I'm seeing figures walking around. Am I somehow getting a glimpse in the past, or are there just well-timed daydreams influenced by the fact that I'm in the location looking for ghosts? If a person is driving along a long stretch of road at night thinking they might see a UFO or ghostly figure on the side of the road, are they influencing their own daydreams just by expecting or thinking about it? Oh, food poisoning. Knock on wood, I've never gotten food poisoning in my life, but I heard it like really bad. And he said, I suppose meditation's just like tripping, a little different for all of us. You can reach a state of being high through meditation, but no matter how you get to the top of the mountain, the view is still the same. That's a good analogy, Andy, actually. Yeah. Well, yeah, freaky. I've never heard a good case of that ever. Yeah, me neither. In that case, Shadow, I'm glad people catch such daydreams on video. UFOs. Well, yeah, that's the thing. I don't think. God, see, this is where I argue with myself because I'm like, all right, so yes, can we manifest UFOs, ghosts, cryptids, all that because we want to see them so bad? I believe we can. But if I go intently looking for a cryptid or UFO sighting or even a paranormal haunting, that I'm like, I'm going to freak myself out per se, but I've never gone in to an investigation expecting to see something and get evidence. Do you know what I mean? It's the days that I'm like, well, what happens, what happens. Whatever happens, happens. And I walk in. That's usually when I experience stuff, if that makes sense. But if I go in there thinking, all right, I'm going to see Lizzie Borden and go into the Lizzie Borden house, I usually don't happen that way. If that makes sense. Perhaps altered state of consciousness sounds better than high. No, I get it, though. I totally get it. It's a great analogy. Nicole says, my state of consciousness right now is further away than UFOs. LOL. Freaky said, mind you, saying altered state of mind or consciousness, something will think we've been used. Went with it last night, Freaky. Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, and I think that's what weed does too. Is it expands your consciousness. I feel that way. I feel it loosens you up. It takes that mundane human ego and puts it to rest for a little bit. Just puts it off. Hey, just chill out, man. Freaky said, nope. Watching the movie about 40 wax is more than enough. Don't want to visit the house. But yeah, I don't know. See, I argue with myself. One of the factors, I guess, to look for in all these cases is tiredness and boredom. We know that we are really tired or doing repetitive tasks, that we are providing an ample environment for daydream. But I think we're going into that meditative state. In the early hours of the morning on an investigation, we are tired. We are repeating the same things, and we're often sitting around waiting for things to happen. People often drive home on little or no sleep, relying on caffeine to get them home. I know energy drinks are my poison in this circumstance. So the next time you drift off and away and have an experience or sighting, ask yourself, was I daydreaming? Of course, if you have two people witnessing or experience the same thing at the same time, well, that's a different story. I feel bad, Heather, for the Lizzie Borden house. I just feel like she's done with it. She don't want to be there anymore. She don't want to, and people keep calling her back because they want to talk to her at the board. Who doesn't want to go to the Lizzie Borden house and talk to Lizzie? I just feel like a lot of these places that we go, I know I'm becoming a boring paranormal investigator, but I just, I don't know. You know how I am. Will you answer yourself honestly when asking yourself it's a daydream? Like in a daydream or just asking myself in general? Andy says DMT is known to have two people share exactly the same experiences and see the same things, be told the same stuff. Don't know how or why it happens, but it happens a lot. That's the thing. See, to me, that's lifting your subconscious, but you're consciously aware of the other person You're linked. It's kind of like what I say because all of us are here talking now, we're co-creating. We're co-creating our world. We're doing it separately, but we're doing it collectively here in this group, right? So we're co-creating. And I think that's what happens with DMT or getting high and you have the same experience. I think that you're co-creating, but on a subconscious level. Sure, you don't attack every haunted spot the same exact way, do you? No. Well, kinda. I mean, I have my set questions. Do you know what I mean? I have my set questions. I mean, obviously, I don't know. That's a good question. I've never really looked at. I probably do. I mean, I don't attack every haunted spot, but you know what I mean. I have my set questions. I usually know where I want cameras if I know what the inside looks like. Unless something certain. I guess some of it changes. So both. We'll put it both, if that makes sense. I guess if I don't know the haunting, I have the set questions, if that makes sense. But if I do know what's gone on there, you're the best around. Thank you, Nicole. You guys rock. You do. Andy said if you want to be scientific about an investigation, then you need to follow some kind of method. Yeah, routine to emulate previous results. That is the nature of science. That is true. I think as I'm older, I'm looking at investigations differently. Like if that makes sense. I like when I was younger investigating, I was more about the scientific. Thank you, Freaky Geek, for passing out the moon cookies. Sorry, Nicole. I guess I went into it more scientific. I wanted to get that proof, blah, 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 blah. Nowadays, it's more spiritual. Does that make sense? I know it's hard to believe that I'm over 21. I know. I'm finally at the drinking age. Woohoo! Hells yeah! Hells yeah! But yeah, so I mean, it's definitely changed for me investigation wise. I mean, I still like the scientific part, I like my tools. I like my blinking lights. I like my, bells and whistles. But it's more of, I guess, like my questioning has changed. Like before I was like, why are you here? Who are you? Blah, 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 right? And now it's more of, how are you making the EMF go off? How are you, you know what I mean? It's more in-depth questions. Eddie, watch your beers as Missy is now old enough to drink them. Yes, you better watch them. Hey, Spitfire, how are you? Welcome, welcome. So does that mean they can get annoying sometimes, but I love my bells and whistles. I'm not going to lie. something techie comes around, I'm like, oh. That's why I can't go on many until somebody makes my glasses. That's you know, that's just the way it is. But if something new comes in, that's why I'm always looking for new equipment. Along with, of course, new tarot cards, which I have a set coming. Don't tell Eddie. Oh, I missed you, Spitfire. I definitely missed you. I missed all you guys so much. I'm telling you, with the week off, it screwed up my whole timing of things. I'm not even going to repeat that, Andy. Well, same thing, though. Freaky Geek. Bells and whistles. I mean, old school, paranormal investigators. We hung bells up. The little jingle bells. Hung them up on string in doorways and stuff like that. Brought wind chimes with us. Okay, thank you, Heather. I appreciate that. I haven't done, no, I know, I'm trying to figure it out because I want everybody on D-Live to be able to have the chance too. So I think what I'm going to do is one of these days, just keep a lookout on, I'm going to do the video on YouTube in case people don't know, I'm giving away Kansari cards. I'm going to do the video on YouTube and then I'll put the link in D-Live, the D-Live chat, because that's always running. So that way everybody knows that the video is up on YouTube. Does that make sense? Does that sound good? Because I've been trying to figure out a way. So that sound good? Yeah. All right. The strange phenomenon. Awesome. Okay. We'll do it that way then. No, the testing is because the restream chat's always up too. But if I type test in the chat in YouTube, it won't come up on restream until I'm actually live. But if I type chat test in D-Live, because that chat is always running, it will show up on my restream, on my backstage area. So I know it's working. Nicole's over there going, la, 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 la. I got enough cards, thanks, Missy. Every employee I've ever has given me some. You don't want any cards? You don't want the Kansari cards? It's a game to play, in case you don't know. Kansari cards are a game that you play with spirits. All right. Let's talk about the strange phenomena. When the day turns dark for a second. Your Andy's card, Nicole. There you go. See? Yeah. Freaky Geek's like, nope, I'm not doing any cards. Well, this way you could test them out and see if stuff like that's real. And Freaky's like, no, I don't want to find out if it's real. That's the whole point. I have enough trouble with ABC, let alone big complicated words like those. All right. Lord, I tell you. This is a real strange phenomenon. It probably happens much more than reported, as it only lasts for a brief time, so people probably don't even bother to tell other people. It happens unexpectedly on a normal day when people are engaging in ordinary activities. Suddenly everything turns black. That is, all lights from one environment has disappeared. Only blackness is present. Absolutely nothing is visible, and it seems to be total darkness. The absence of light lasts only for a fraction of a second to several seconds. The darkness always comes on and stops suddenly. There's no gradual diminishing or gradually returning of light. It just boom, done. At first, one might suspect a medical origin, a neurological disorder of some kind. However, more than one person at the same time can experience the phenomenon, even as an entire group of people has experienced this. This would exclude the possibility that the origin lies inside the brain. The origin definitely comes from outside of the body and engulfs the person abruptly, possibly passing through really fast. You never heard of that, Misty Cat? I've heard of it. I've never experienced it. I mean, if I did, I'd probably dismissed it as like a plane or a bird going by the sun or something. Um, yeah, it's a very bizarre. Um, it gets even more bizarre when the phenomenon, seemingly unusual, unexplainable, and very rare, is experienced more than once by the same person. It seems to be very localized, maybe a couple of yards. Although in one case, another person about a mile away experienced the same thing. Maybe the wave is a small in size but moves around, and maybe it can be really large in size. Is it a cosmic wave that came down and annihilated the frequency of light? Is it an energy field generated by the Earth itself? Does it actually cancel the light in one's environment, or does it interrupt or that cancel the transmission of light signals through the optical nerve? As some people experience it more than once in their lifetime, is the phenomenon somehow connected to particular people? I found 6 accounts of the phenomenon happening to a group of children. 4 of the accounts were in schools. Is that a coincidence? Andy, is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's Missy on her new vacuum cleaner streaking across the skies. Really should put clothes on flying that thing. I'm sorry. I like the breeze. So they're asking, is there intelligence behind it? I am starting to suspect that there is, because it happens to certain people more than once, and also to groups of school children. If we entertain this idea, we might be looking at some kind of spaceship that might have an energy field around it that interferes with the optical signs of the brain of humans. When such a ship flies over at such high speeds, one would visually not notice it and would account for the abrupt emergence and disappearance of the perceptual darkness or the interruption of optical signals for a fraction of a second, or if it flies at a lower speed for several seconds, creating the same thing. The fact that some people experience the phenomenon more than once might indicate that it is an alien intelligence is interested in revisiting these people. Maybe they also like to visit schools. It's called a Harley Broomson at Andy. That's Missy is using. That's right. At least now I know why Nicole wants my Dyson. Oh, Lord. You guys are nuts. So I don't know if I believe that it's aliens. I think it's very weird that people have it re-happen. Like they happen, it happens more than once to them. Here are some accounts, though. When it happens to one single person, one can still argue that it might be of biological origin. Here's one person's experience. I remember back in high school, I was in class and looking out the window. Then for a split second, the sky went dark or black. I don't think I was the only one who witnessed this because I asked my classmates if they seen it. They said they did. I thought it was a really strange occurrence. Ever since, I've never thought about it much. Does anyone have any similar experiences? Then there's another one, a mother and daughter in a bright room. This phenomenon happened happened to my daughter and me on January 6th of this year in the Mid-Atlantic region. My daughter was at home during the day. It was around 11ish. She was home from school with a cold, and we were in her bedroom playing a board game, and suddenly it was pitch black for just a second for both of us. She gave a startled exclamation, asking me what just happened. I told her I had no idea, but I certainly had heard of it before, thanks to this forum. It was about the span of an eye blink, but in a very bright room lit by two large windows set in two different walls. If you blink your eye normally, you still experience brightness through your lids. We experienced pitch blackness, so much that it was startling even for such a short duration. I'm more inclined to believe that there was some phenomenon that interfered with how our brains process sensory input than there are of some natural phenomenon involving the sun or the atmosphere. When the sky seems so to go black like now, it's because it's clouds and the sun is playing hide and seek. But this is different though. I think it's more or less, I mean, that has to be a very big fucking cloud for it to go split second. It just in my opinion. What do you guys think? This person said, same thing happened to me, but it was a fraction of a second. I thought I just blinked, but then a friend asked me if I saw the lights go out. The world is a weird place, I guess. It's because my dyslexia is kicking in big time, freaky geek. So that in turns makes your fingers more dyslexic today. This happened to my wife and I about 10 years ago, living in Merseyside, England. We were in the back garden cleaning up when suddenly it went pitch black. I couldn't see anything or hear anything for a split second. My wife said, what just happened? It went black. Did you see that? It was a hot, sunny afternoon, about 1 p.m., blue sky, no clouds at all, no birds or no planes, no explanation for the split second of darkness. If it only happened to one of us, we could put it to something physical, but we both experienced it at the same time. We're glad we're not the only people to have this happen. Power cut of the sun? No, yeah, it happens when no clouds are around. Hey, Anton. I know, long time no see. I'm back. Yeah, somebody forgot to pay the light bill for the sun. That's not funny, Andy. The MIB are watching you, freaky, and waiting to pounce. LOL. They had lost time, I wonder, because you would notice if it was only for a second. Billy Goat blocking sun out. I knew what you meant, Andy. Yeah, I mean, I think I've had it happen before, but I can't. I mean, I'm pretty sure that I just blew it off as something like a bird passed by or something. But I don't know. I don't know. I might not have. I don't know. I never really paid attention. But that's a good question. Would you wonder? I have wonder possible time loss. Yeah, that would be freaky. That would be really freaky if you. I don't think anybody's talked about. That's okay. I can't speak today. That's normal though. But I don't think anybody has talked about time loss with it, because that would be freaky. That would. Um, he said this post has several comments from other people who had the same experience. So it's not an isolated event. I mean, the same experience happened to me and a relative once a few months ago. Neither of us have any idea what it was. So, I mean, all I can think about is like people's bodies getting shut down for a split second. Like, oh, I don't know why I'm thinking that. But somebody else said, I've also experienced this with a friend. We're lying on a beach on a sunny day. We thought it had something to do with the sun being on its highest point. In Finland, the sun is right above in the middle of the summer. Somebody else said, this exact thing happened to me and a friend as well. We were watching TV one day and the universe like blinked for about a half a second. There was no light from the TV or window behind us. I figured it was just me until he asked if I experienced it too. I've never come up with an explanation. I can't remember if my hearing went out as well. That's interesting too. Well, that one person said their hearing went, they couldn't hear anything. Said it happened to my mom and I on a clear sunny day and a couple months ago. Happened to me too, and a friend when we were teenagers. Haven't had it in several years now. No explanation. Somebody wrote, this is something that has happened to me twice now, and they are from when I was a child. Now, before you go on and hit me with the fact that I was a kid, my brother was there as well, and he was older. I'm not sure if this is crazy interesting or anything, but I feel strange whenever I think about it. I was in the car with my brother when I was just about 10 years old, and he was 20. We were driving when suddenly it was like the sky had just blinked, as if like the entire world just went totally black for exact amount of time of a blink. Now, obviously, I'm describing a general blink here, but I swear to you, I did not blink. You don't notice it when you blink. And the only reason I did was because I didn't blink. Now, this isn't exactly too crazy, but here's the fun part. I was young and it was generally made me curious, so I asked out loud if my brother had seen it, and he freaking had. He couldn't believe that whatever it was, he felt it too. He felt the same exact thing, just everything going black for a split second. I have another story like this, but I'll keep it short. I'll only say this one since it strikes me as the craziest one. Has anybody ever experienced something like this? I can't seem to find anything online about it. Thank you. And that's the thing is, these people, I don't think they would be asking about it like, has anybody else had this happen? Unless it really happened. Like something freaked them out. Do you know what I mean? True, freaky. He said it was daytime and we're in the car. While he was driving, it was so quick that it didn't affect him or anything. According to him, he noticed it and just thought it was a strange, but never said anything. I was the only one. I said something that obviously he got freaked out because we both saw it. I don't even really think it went to night. It was just like a genuine pitch black. Like the universe blinked. And there's hundreds and hundreds of people that have seen this. So what could it be? What do you guys think it could be? I mean, it's almost like the opposite when we've talked about with Chad Kalick about I talked about the flashing lights. I mean, mine's not been that big where the whole room lights up. I see the little, I think they're vortexes. I honestly do, because that's when we have spirit activity. But when, like Chad Kalak with the whole light blinking thing. It's like the opposite of that. Glitch in the Matrix? You really think that, Andy? It could have been a glitch in the Matrix? And more people are experiencing... Very well could be. I mean, there's no explanation of why that happens. The simulation requires us to reboot every once in a while. That is true. Specialist of Needs, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for the lemons. I appreciate that. But yeah, it definitely needs to but why don't we all see it at once? Our cage is faltering. Right? Something certainly feels wrong with this world we live in. I'm telling you, that's why I told you, Andy. It's all this chaotic awakening. It's very, everybody is coming into the light. And even though, you know me, I hate that word. I'm telling you, something weird's going on. And it's all because there's so much chaotic energy in the world. I think it was going to happen with or without the pandemic, though, Freaky Geek. I believe it's been happening for a while. Usually it's, well, although there was one story, where did I read it? Good question, Heather. Heather asked, did it happen to people from different places or the same? There was, I'm trying to find it because I was reading one where there was two people together in one area of the town and it happened to them and they were just talking about it randomly to their friend and they're like, yeah, that happened to me. He goes, I just thought it was something going by the sun. Different places geographically, that's going to be hard to figure out. I think that would be, I don't think there's a way you can tell that unless everybody starts writing when it happened. Do you know what I mean? Because it would be interesting if they were in different parts of the world. The light bulb in the sun is just blinking out. Now here's one where somebody experienced something. Excuse me. He said, I've experienced something similar over the years. Sometimes by myself, some others with people around me. At the beginning, I was always asked, did you see that? But as time goes, I stopped asking and paying attention to it. But 5 days ago, I was talking with my boss when suddenly he stopped talking and then he asked, did you see that? At that precise moment, I didn't see anything. Then he described to me the same exact thing that I have witnessed before. And it was pretty much the same thing that the other person described. And now doing some research, but that I found this thread. I don't have any answer or explanation regarding that, but because, as I said, I stopped asking and for some reason stopped thinking about it. Now I'm really interested in this matter again. Some folks say that they are, when that happens, like the USA or Canada agree, something like that. A lot of the stories are on Reddit, at least. Well, that and above top secret. Now, if all the politicians in the world did LSD for 6 months, we'd have a massive change in the way the world. Hey, Ghost Rider, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Now, they wrote, an airplane flying in front of the sun can cast a shadow, obviously, right? But not a total blackout of all light. I found 2 reports of hearing the sound of an airplane flying over when the total darkness appeared. Coincidence with no significance? Or can the phenomenon also be produced a sound that resembles that type of airplane? Good to hear, Ghost Rider. That's the only other sound. They've only heard, other than that, I don't see anything where it's almost like, how do you explain that? It's almost like the world blacks out and the sounds go quiet. All for a second. Hey, Patrick, how you doing, hon? Now, this experience says sometimes not even everything is pitch black, but only the sky. The following was experienced by 3 people, and the writer mentioned that it's also happened 3 times at his house. Another example that it might be a local Earth phenomenon. Interestingly, in the case, the sky was black, but the light was dimmed underneath. Maybe the annihilation of light can also be partial. I'm not the best at introduction sentences or anything, so I'll get right to it. I've lived in the same area for many years now. I'm used to stuff like people yelling and arguing, seeing random cats. But back in July, it was the first time I saw the entire sky go black. Not exaggerating or anything, the entire sky was black. Here's how it happened. It was early July. My mother, brother, and I were all outside in the back patio like we typically are during the summer. It was around 10 in the morning, and we were all just talking about random stuff. I specifically remember where I was sitting, and I was looking at my mother while she was talking. The way our patio is set up is basically 2 feet of cement perimeter around us and screens. Thank you, Freaky Geek, for passing out some moon cookies. So 2 feet of cement perimeter around us and screens, so I can easily see our backyard. Well, as we were talking, out of nowhere, it just happened. The sky turned black. My mother, brother, and I just all stopped talking and looked outside, and although it was dark and black out, we could still see everything fine. Everything was just dimmed and the sky was black. I immediately called my sister after we saw the sky literally blacken, and the sky went back to normal. And after we all let the sky went back to normal, and after we all let what we witnessed just sit with us, I called her. My sister only lives less than a mile away, and I knew she had been outside walking her dog. I was freaking out because it was such an odd thing to have happen. And she said she saw nothing and everything looked normal to her. My family and I were so confused and had no words about what happened. So they sound like isolated events. We all just sat there after I called my sister. This has happened twice since then, and I'm so baffled when it happens. It only lasts a few seconds, but it feels like forever. No one else has ever seen it besides my family, who was present when it happened. Anyone else seen anything like this or gone through similar experiences? It was like nighttime dark, but there was no moon or stars or even sun. All right, Freaky Geek, hurry back. So yeah, I mean, they sound like it can be isolated, but I know there's the one story that I freaking read last night that, of course, um, where the 2 people were at one part of the town, and the other one was in another part of town. And after their walk or whatever they were doing, when it went black, they asked or were telling their story to their friend, and they're like, "Yeah, that happened." So the last one with this, I mean, there's a lot more. Like I said, all the links are down in the description. The following experience also points to a local phenomenon interacting with human energy system, as people involved also experience drastic changes to their consciousness. The term tripping balls is an expression used to indicate that the speaker is under heavily influence of psychedelic drugs. A friend of mine and his brother had experienced sort of like this. My friend was about 12 at the time, his brother around 14. They were walking through the woods, a part they had never been before. They came across a very small creek, maybe 3 to 4 feet wide and 6 to 12 inches deep. My friend's brother jumped across it first, and immediately he was hit with the ground. He hit the ground on the other side, and said he started tripping balls. My friend asked him what the fuck happened. He described it as being like hitting with a wall of darkness. The second his feet hit the ground, he said a flash of darkness completely obscured his vision for a few seconds, like a hand was covering his eyes for a small period of time. My friend then decided to jump across. Nothing happened to him. They continued on for a bit, then decided to turn back. Following their tracks, because it was winter, they came to the exact spot in the creek where they had crossed before. My friend's brother decided to jump first again in hopes that his previous experience would be reenacted. It happened again, the flash of darkness and everything. He started tripping balls again. At this point, my friend thought he was on crack or something and decided to jump across. That's when it happened to him too. They both tripped balls on the way back home. That's okay, Patrick. You're never late. You're here when you're supposed to be here. But yeah, I mean, I can't imagine. What do you guys think that is? At first, when it first we're talking about it, I thought maybe he jumped, and there is certain things that happen when you jump wrong, and like I've had that happen to me, to where I jumped and something like it jolted me, if that makes sense. But when the second person it had happened to him, then that's very strange to me. I don't know what would cause that. So what do you guys think that is? Like, I mean, have any of you guys, first of all, experienced it? Second of all, what could do that? I don't know why, but every time I've read stories like that, I think of that device that the government has. Hey, Shimmer Soul, sorry. How are you, hon? Good to see you. Um, every time I hear stories like this, I do think of that thing that the government has where they can directly talk to you in your brain. I forgot what it's called. Um, but they have like a parabolic mic, and they can only, instead of hearing sounds come in, they can project it to you. Um, but I think about something like that, only messes with your eyes. It's about seeing where the whole world goes dark for a split second, Patrick. It's kind of like subliminal messaging, but it's not. It's where they can, like, they think the person hearing it might think that like they're going nuts and hearing God's voice. It's a true thing. They really have this. Yeah. So we're just doing different stories on that, Patrick. But yeah, I can't think of what that device is called. Um, but yeah, they can project, like they can be a ways away and whisper something and you hear it just in your head. It's kind of crazy, right? All right. But I don't know why that when I hear these stories, I think of that device. I seen a video apparently from the 50s. The lady was on LSD and she could see sounds and waves of color after thinking 3 hours after, I think 3 hours after taking the drugs. There are people that can see that without the LSD, freaky geek. They see things differently. It depends. It all right, Patrick? Right? It goes in line with the same thing of holographics, that they put holographics in the sky. Um, but yeah, there's people that can see color without, I mean, waves of color without being on LSD. It's just something in their how they see things. Excuse me. All right, moving on. So we're going to talk about the story of two women who didn't get along even after death. Since one humid moonlight August night in the early 1970s, 17-year-old Barry Strassel and his best friend, 18-year-old Tim Davis, left their girlfriends Debbie Atkins and Judy Swanson on Hillfoot Road and made their way to their respective homes on Mather Ave and Stamford Drive via a shortcut through Alberton Cemetery. The moon was full, and Barry and Tim were full of bravado and cider, and despite the eerie setting, the lads harbored no thoughts of ghosts as they strolled through the place of the dead. The moon was bright. It was almost like daydream, Barry recalled, and to me and Tim talked about our girlfriends, and Tim even mentioned proposing to his girlfriend, Judy. Ghosts were the furthest things from our minds as we made our way home. The time must have just been past midnight when it happened. Barry and Tim had covered about 600 yards when they both heard a woman's voice shouting somewhere. She sounded distressed, but the teens couldn't make out what she was saying. She might be getting attacked, said Barry. Let's go help her. The boys trotted north to the sound of the possible damsel in distress, and took a while to find the woman because her yells were echoing off of gravestones, and it was Tim who worked out where the sound was coming from. He pointed to the north end of the northeast of the cemetery, and he said he could see something moving. So the lads walked to the place indicated by Tim's pointing finger, and they came upon a scene that was like something from Edgar Allan Poe's story. There was an open grave, and clods of earth and mud were being thrown out of it. The toppled white marble headstone of the grave laid about 15 feet away, as if it had been hurled there. What is it? Asked trembling Tim. He pictured a giant mole at work, but then a woman in white gown, perhaps a burial shroud, with dark, stringy, shoulder-length hair and a very pallid face, came floating up out of the grave. She stuttered to the terrified onlookers, "I'm not sharing a grave with that cow." Barry and Tim ran out of the cemetery as fast as their legs could carry them, and at one point Tim tripped and went flying. Barry helped him up and screw that, I would have said, "Sorry about your luck." Barry helped him up and reassured his friend that whatever that woman was, she was not following them. But all at the same time, the boys got out of the elementary cemetery pretty sharpish. The parents of the boys didn't believe their macabre tale, but the next day, the Liverpool Echo reported that vandals had desecrated a grave in Ellington Cemetery and had
what the fart?
and excavated so much of the soil on the grave the coffin was exposed. The white marble headstone of the grave had also been wrenched up and thrown some distance away. The article in the newspaper prompted many readers to get in touch to say how no vandals had been responsible. It had been one of the two women buried in that grave, and the husband of those late two wives later got in touch with the newspaper and confirmed this. "Hey, G-Smoke, how you doing?" The man, named Roy, had married his first wife in 1960. And
Give the boy points.
Right? And she tragically died a few years later from a short illness. His second wife, an orphan who had no family, later died in a tragic accident, and she'd known the man's first wife and didn't get along with her. At the same time, the husband buried his second wife in the same grave with his first wife, where his wife was resting, and he had plans to be buried with his two wives one day, unless he met someone, as there was only room for one more. Then Roy started to find the grave disturbed, and the headstone would be toppled. And in the end, the grave diggers found all the earth excavated from the grave, and many people visiting the graves of loved ones also witnessed the self-excavating grave. The husband ended up having his troublesome wife exhumed and cremated. Then he scattered her ashes in the Mersey and threw the urn in the river as well. And apparently he lived with no problems after that. He was a cheapskate, right? Freaky said good luck to him. I know, can you imagine if he was buried there and his wife's Oh, that's bad. That's bad. Don't do that. So here's here's advice. Don't bury your wives together. Especially if they never got along in real life, you know? Wow. I think there were two, I wonder why they didn't haunt him. I don't know, maybe they did. I think they were too worried about just she wasn't going to be there with that fat cow. Holy hell. I couldn't imagine that. Could not imagine that. Those poor boys. If that really happened, can you imagine those poor boys? Wow. Talk about killing two birds with one stone, right?
What the fart?
Lord. That's just crazy. So, Patrick, listen, I'm looking for inventors of paranormal equipment. Before we leave today, I'm going to tell my story again. I'm looking for someone. Let me see how long the story is. Yeah, both the second stories are wicked long. Can you imagine how much one could get paid for filling the graves every day? I know, right? Every day you freaking come back and it's all tossed up, the headstone's thrown away. Yes, I'm looking for inventors of paranormal equipment. I'll tell you why, but I want something specific. I want... Did I explained that right the first time, guys? I want full spectrum goggles, kind of like VR goggles, Wi-Fi goggles, so that way you guys can see what I'm seeing. But I want every light of the spectrum on them, and with a wheelie, like on my headphones, that I can scroll back and forth with. Does that make sense? Am I saying that right, guys? So I want to be able to go to every spectrum of light. So if I'm over in full spectrum and I think I might catch something in infrared, I want to go back to infrared real quick. But I want every spectrum of light. So if you ever hear of anybody making those, let me know. That's what I want. So if any inventors are out there that want to make some glasses like that, let me know. I'm technical, but I'm not that technical to know how to do that. I just think that would be awesome. Well, that would be part of infrared, Freaky Geek. That's how we see night vision, is through infrared. I'll just post you a few tabs and see more colors than those. Yeah, right? Then you can imagine. Yeah, well, you know. But that's what I think, like, because I also think it would be great for, like, watching for UFOs and going through the different spectrum of colors. It's almost like going through the different, till you take a picture and put the different filters on to see if you can see anything extra, the energy coming off and stuff like that. I think it'd be great to have that all in one, to where you can change it up and go through it right then and there, like in real time. I don't trust apps like that, though. I gotta have, like, I don't have that much faith in apps, I guess. I'd rather have a hard... I don't even use my EMF detector on my app on my phone. I'd rather have my K2 with me, if that makes sense. It's leading up to that, Andy. It's leading up to that. That's what I want to try and figure out. But I got to figure out what light spectrum we can see in that, if that makes sense. I mean, red's the best, usually the best. But I want everything. I'm greedy that way. I'm greedy. It's been a while since I've waited 2 hours for a cigarette. Depends on what's lurking there, right, Misty? I can understand that. You want phase shifting tech in a pair of glasses or goggles. I know. I don't want... That's not too much. It's not asking too much, is it? Yeah. I want you guys to experience it with me. I don't want to feel alone doing this shit. That's what I want. It's not asking for much. If I could do it myself, I totally would. If I knew what specs and everything, like if I knew how to do that shit, I would be doing it myself. But I don't know. I'm not that tech advanced. I like my tech. I like figuring out technology, but I'm not that tech myself. That would be freaky. See, that's the thing. That's the thing. It brings up a good thing. That was another thing I was thinking about. When we die, at least in my experience, not that I died, but I had my, infrared, ultraviolet, full spectrum, all that. Is the fact that I was thinking about that spirits, people are creeped out because they're like, oh, spirits are looking at me in the bathroom or while I take a shower or where I'm doing the thing with my woman or my guy, stuff. But spirits don't think. That's a very human thing of thinking. Spirits don't think of things like that. You know what I mean? Just in my experience. Like, that's a very human thought. Like, oh, they're naked. Oh, that's human. That's us. You know what I mean? That's not spirits. Andy says, might want to give a word with General Jack O'Neill and ask him. You're an ass, Andy. Might want to give a word with General Jack O'Neill and ask him to smuggle you some secret shit, super secret shit out of Cheyenne Mountain next time he comes back through the Stargate. Listen, I'm not asking for a lot. Oh, great. Now I'm going to have the MIB here going, how does she know that those exist? You rock. You all rock so much. I missed you guys so much. I really have. You guys are awesome. But yeah, that's what I want. I think these should already be invented. That it should be already in the hands of paranormal investigators. Or at least this paranormal investigator. Just my thought. Just my thought. You could come up with that, something like that, couldn't you, Andy? Come on now. Somebody you could ask is the person who did the voice box thing. What, the Frank's box? Frank something or is dead. I'm not asking him nothing. Giggle Piggles is still here, just lurking and eating pizza. Pizza sounds good. I might have pizza after this. I just might. I know, they probably would be very expensive. That's why I would love to be able to make them myself. But I can't. It would hurt my brain too much. Oh, barbecue chicken pizza. You know what? No, I got to refrain from it. 2 days in a row, I ate barbecue pulled pork and regretted it instantly with heartburn. No, the guy who recently made something like a spirit box. What, Huff? Like the thing that I made? The portal box? Yeah, I get I'm hooked on the Red Baron, the little single pizzas that come 2 in a box. Chicken fried steak. Now that sounds so good. You're an asshole, Andy. So mean to me. Just like Eddie. So mean to me. Telling you. All right, guys. Head on over to D-Live. If you're not already there, and hype up that chat. I'll get over there and put some lemons in the chest. That's right. You tell me, Nicole. No milkshake for you, Andy. I try, Andy. I try to say the sweetest things to you. Hype up the chat time. That's right. As I do that, I don't even know. They're not even going to. How do I get to do this? Oh, OBS. I'm like, how do I switch screens? My Stream Deck. See what happens when you get used to technological things like Stream Deck. You get used to. Thank you so much, Giggles, for the diamond. For the queen of the stream. Oh, bless your heart. Thank you so much. I appreciate that so much. But I'm so used to my Stream Deck and just pressing a button for my credits. My Stream Deck don't work right now. And so I'm like, how the hell do I get it over there to the credits? Hopefully they're playing. Maybe. There they go. Thank you guys so much for being here. You guys are so amazing. You really are. I missed you guys so much. Thank you, Melanie. Thank you. I try to have great discussions. Sure, Giggle. Yeah. Coming up tomorrow, we are going to, I switched it up a little bit. We're going to talk about the spirit animals, what we were talking about today that I just wasn't feeling it. The spirit animals, totem animals, and power animals, what the difference is between them, and how they can help you. Thank you, Anton. You guys are awesome. Interesting topics. Thank you, Freaky Geek. Thank you, Melanie. That's okay. That's cool. Lurking is fine. We don't mind that at all. I thank you guys so much for being here. I really do. I missed you. Like I said, I missed you guys so much. I know Eddie missed you. Like, it screwed up our whole... Let me look. Did you ask me that before, Giggles? And I totally... Did I not get back to you? I'm so sorry if that's... Because I did look that up at one point. But I forgot what I found. My freaking Facebook, I swear to God, it's acting up so weird. Like, nothing is showing up for me. How do I get back? There we go. Thank you, Andy. But yeah, and Angel Aura, I remember, I'll have to look it up again and I'll send you a message, but I remember specifically looking that up because I don't know. I know what the Aurora stone is. They're very pretty, by the way. Matter of fact, I might start selling them in my shop. Oh, and Eddie's home. Eddie's home as we're leaving. See how he is? I know. But I will definitely look that up again, and because I did come to a conclusion of what I think was happening. Hello, baby.
Hi, baby.
I didn't get you all set up, so you want to go over here and say hi?
Hi. Oh.
He had 2 trucks last night, so he's tired. Everybody saying hi. Chaos is home and time to co-host the goodbyes. Yeah, right? I didn't set him up, so he's not even in the green room.
No.
Oh, thank you, Misty Cat. Thank you guys for being here. Hello, Tired Eddie from Freaky Geek.
What's up, Freaky?
How did he manage to eat 2 trucks?
It was difficult, I'll tell you that. A lot of salt.
A lot of salt. Patrick said, everybody's saying hi. But, yeah. Oh, dancing sexy over there, Nicole. Woo-woo. What? You better watch it, Andy. That's okay, Missy. I usually set Eddie up at the weekend. Yeah, I know, right? Woo, look at that. Look at that ass a bumping. Nicole. All right, guys, let me go. I am going ahead and pressing the button. Maybe I forgot how to do this. Oh, yeah, distribute rewards. All right, I've clicked the button. So you got 20 seconds to click the chest. If it doesn't open for you, click it again, and it should pop up.
If not, curse at it.
No, I didn't say I was putting 500 lemons in the chest, Andy. Just 200. Listen, guys. They're getting picky over here now, honey.
It's all right. They're allowed. That's what makes them so awesome.
They're like, we waited a week for you, bitch.
Isn't that 200 a show? That's like a fucking 1,000.
Oh, yeah, I can put up to 2,000 a week, I think. Don't give them any ideas. What the hell? No. All right, I'll put more in the chest tomorrow. Nicole got 79.0. Freaky Geek got 45.8. Patrick got 33.4. Giggles got 26.7. And Melanie got 22.5. Great job, guys. Oh, okay, Freaky. Freaky said, I'm not complaining. I'm just stating it's only 200. All right, guys. Like I said, tomorrow is all about the spirit totem and power animals. Not angels, animals. Wednesday, we're just going to have creepy, unsolved mystery stories. Thursday, we're talking about scrying. And Friday, of course, is Freaky News Friday. With that being said, I love you guys so much. Missy, you know the D-Livers love it when your chest is full. It's full to bursting. Yeah, I'm sure. You guys are awesome. Awesome but bad, I tell you. I love each and every one of you. Thank you guys so much for coming in and hanging out with me today. Tomorrow there should be a chaos, but we don't know.
Huh?
Huh?
Do what?
Do what? Anyway, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Take care, be safe, and remember, find something today to make you smile with your eyes. Love you guys. Mwah. Bye.